Today, we're going to do something you've probably never done before. We're taking a magnifying glass to a textbook. Yeah, I know, but trust me, we're going to pull back the curtain on how these things are actually built to see the hidden architecture of learning itself.
I mean, it's a fair question, right? You might think a textbook is just a bunch of facts and exercises slapped onto a page, but it's so much more than that. It's a carefully engineered machine designed to take you from point A to point B. And today, we're going to take apart Unit 2, right here, to show you exactly how it works.
And just like any good piece of architecture, you've got to start with a blueprint. This is the master plan, you know? It lays out exactly what a student needs to know, and more importantly, what they need to be able to do by the time they finish the lesson. Okay, so look closely here. This is fascinating. On the left, you've got the standards. These are the big, high-level ideas, kind of abstract, like comprehend spoken English. Okay, great, but how? That's where the competencies on the right come in. They take that big idea and turn it into a real, measurable skill, like understand a set of guidelines. This right here is the secret journey from the what to the how. And this is how that blueprint actually starts to look to the student. The contents box is basically the itinerary for their learning journey. It's all laid out: conversation, grammar, vocabulary, skills. See? Nothing is random. Every single piece is planned out. So let's dig into the first layer of this structure. Where do you start? Well, with the absolute basics, the words. You can't build sentences, let alone have a conversation, without the building blocks. And notice how they do this. They don't just throw a giant random list of words at you and say good luck. No, they introduce them thematically. Here, it's all about school. By grouping words like principal and laboratory, it taps into how our brains actually learn. We look for patterns, and this makes the new words so much easier to remember. But here's the thing. It's one thing to know the word homework and the word do. It's another thing to know that they belong together. This is the next crucial step towards sounding natural. And there's a name for this. They're called collocations. Think about it. We make a mistake. We don't do a mistake. We surf the net. We don't ride the net. They're these little word partnerships that just sound right to native speakers. So this little matching exercise, it's way more important than it looks. It's specifically designed to build that instinct. It's teaching the natural flow of the language. This is really the difference between sounding like you're reading a dictionary and sounding like a real person. Okay, so we've got our words. We know which ones like to hang out together. Now we need the rules that hold the whole thing together. We need the skeleton of the language, which brings us to grammar. And I want you to notice the strategy here. It's really smart. Instead of making you guess the rules from a bunch of examples, it just gives them to you, straight up. Here are the prepositions of time: in, at, on. The rule comes first, clear as day. And then, bam, right underneath it, you're asked to use it. No waiting around. You just learned the rule, and now you're putting it into practice. This immediate rule-to-practice loop is so important because it forges that connection between knowing something and actually being able to use it. It helps lock it in. Of course, the textbook designers know you might need a little help. That's what these grammar assistant boxes are for. They're like little pop-up reminders or cheat sheets placed right where you'll need them most. It's just-in-time learning, and it's super effective. So, we've got the words, we've got the rules. What's next? Well, you've got to put it all to work. This is that critical jump from just having knowledge in your head to actively using skills like speaking, writing, and reading. Now, an exercise like this questionnaire might just look like a fun activity, but it's actually a super structured, low-risk environment for students to start speaking. It's like a simulator. It gives them the questions, the vocabulary, everything they just learned, and says, okay, go, try it out. So by having students ask each other things like, what school subjects do you prefer? It's creating a mini simulation of a real, natural conversation. It's practice for the real world, but in a safe space. And this right here, this is where the design gets really, really clever. Just watch this progression. First, you speak and you listen. Then you take notes on what you heard. Finally, you use those notes to write a report. See that? Each skill builds directly on the one before it. It's called scaffolding, and it's an amazing technique because it breaks a big, scary task, like writing a report from scratch, into small, manageable steps. So what's the last piece of this puzzle? How does the lesson tie everything we've learned together and make sure it all sticks? With a song! I know, it might seem like just a fun little break page, but it's so much more. A song is actually a powerful learning tool. It reinforces all the vocabulary and themes from the unit, but it uses rhythm and melody to engage different parts of your brain. It makes the language way more memorable. In a design this good, every single thing is a purpose.
So when you boil it all down, the big takeaway is this. Good learning materials are never an accident. From those high-level goals all the way down to a simple song, every single element is an intentional part of a complex machine, designed to guide you from not knowing to knowing.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? The next time you pick up a textbook or watch a tutorial or take a class, try to look for that blueprint, because these hidden structures are everywhere, shaping the way you learn. The real question is, what are they, and how can knowing about them make you a smarter learner?